Hello, everybody, and welcome to another single song reaction. My very pixelated friend over here, whose name is Cody, has never heard of and has no clue who or what a Sleep Token is. I am familiar with Sleep Token. I did a reaction here on the channel to their last album, to their full album. And it was very interesting, but it wasn't really my cup of tea. So but I know that this is a pretty big song. People are very excited for them to be back. There was a bunch of controversy, Cody, about this band very recently, and people thought that they were done, and because they basically deleted their whole social media and everything, and they were like, okay, well, we're done. And now all of a sudden, here they come with something new. I have not heard it yet. They tend to have quite long songs. You can see how popular they are here. Not many metal bands, Cody, amass hundreds of millions of plays. This band, that tells you how big this band is. This band has hundreds of millions of plays. And they've been around for a while. If you look at their albums, I believe their first album was from 2019. So not too long, I guess. I found them on their first album, Sundowning, and I listened to it, and I was pretty excited to hear it. I thought there was some cool stuff on there. But I listened to it after the year it came out, and at that time I didn't really care too much about at that time when I was listening to music, I was only focusing on music from I think probably 2020 or 2021 because I was trying to figure out my list for that year. So I was excited when I found it, but it wasn't during the current year. And then they released Take Me Back to Eden in 2023, and they exploded and became huge. So I'm not going to pretend that I know everything about this band at all. I know that they wear masks and costumes and stuff, and it is a secret who the dudes in this band are. And I don't know if it's a secret because they were famous musicians from other bands or what. I literally don't know who they are. But last year, someone hacked into their personal accounts and revealed their identities to everyone. And it really upset them a lot. And like I said, I wasn't paying too much attention to it at the time, but in the metal community, it was a pretty big deal, and they deleted all their social media. They did all this stuff. It caused quite a stir. And Sleep Token is one of those bands
a bunch of babies.
Sleep Token is one of those bands that got popular along with reaction content. So which song are we even doing? Which song just came out? Latest release, the song Emergence is what we're going to be doing.
Yeah. Okay. So
it already has 7 million plays, and it's only been out for, I think, several days. March 13th, it says. It came out March 13th. 6.5 minutes. So, Cody, okay. You saw the picture of this guy, who I'll try to put it on screen if I can, maybe. If you just go to Sleep Token's page, this picture with this dude pops up. You can't see it on here. Hold on. Let me move my... What? Oh, I have it smushed. Interesting. Well, whatever. It doesn't matter. That's not important.
Just superimpose it.
Well, I'm not going to... Well, maybe I could edit this video. Sure, like that. Sure, whatever. Also, I have to say sorry for the quality of Cody and for me lagging and stuff. This is just the way that this video is, unfortunately, the way it is. But I'm not going to get into all this stuff we normally do. I'm just excited. So Cody saw that and he was like, "Oh, you think I'm going to like this guy?" So what do you think this sounds like looking at that? This is a good book by its cover moment here.
I would think I don't know. I'm getting Slipknot vibes.
Okay, yeah. And that's because you obviously know Slipknot is a metal band, or new metal, I refer to them as, but they're pretty heavy. Most people consider them a metal band, but they're also some of the faces of new metal, and we'll get into that in a future What is Metal video. But yeah, Sleep Token is a metal band. I have not heard this. I'm just really curious what you think. So are you ready to listen to it?
Yep.
All right, this is their brand new single, Emergence, and they have a new album coming out. You can pre-order it and everything now. Excuse me, this is Cody's first time hearing Sleep Token, and my first time ever hearing this song. I have not heard a second of it either, but I can imagine what it sounds like based on the whole last album of theirs that I heard. So, Sleep Token, Emergence. in 3, 2, 1.
Well, you were late in verse, living on a promised word. Well, I am the rose you relinquished again. You and I are down head first in another world. I heard, I have a feeling we're close to the end. So come on, come on.
Wow.
Out from underneath who you were. Come on now. You know that it's time to.
They're really dialing that auto-tune knob down quite a bit during this part, which I like a lot better. Are you scared, Cody?
I assume it's going to get pretty intense.
I honestly don't know. They have 7-minute length songs that are no harder, heavier than this. So there we go. This is Sleep Token, Cody.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, more rap and rap
Yep. Yes.
vocals than I was expecting.
I like this a lot so far. For reference, Cody, this was going to be a band we checked out in our video where we went over modern popular metal.
Oh, okay.
And like the sort of ubers, we were going to talk about this, maybe Poppy, Spirit Box, Lorna Shore, maybe Bad Omens, stuff like that. Just so everyone out there watching. Yeah.
Dark days for your solstice, dancing through the depths of hellfire on the winds that started from within. My blood beats so alive, might tear right through my skin. So tell me what you meant by living past your half-life and lockstep with the universe and your well-fascinating afterlife. You know that I'm sanctified by what's below, no matter what you do, no
A lot of vocals.
matter where you go.
Like a lot of lyrics. It's really cool that we're in a place where this kind of stuff can be considered metal.
Oh, yeah.
Because if Chris Schoenberg heard this and metal in the same sentence, he would literally have some sort of a fit. There we go.
Oh, that was you.
Sounds really good.
Cool.
Boo!
I love it.
Boo! For those of you who aren't familiar with the channel, I hate saxophones, and it's kind of a running joke, but this is really neat. This is pretty nice.
This is not what I expected to be thrown into the song,
Yeah.
but I love it.
Ooh, and it's gonna fade out like a... You know what? This isn't necessarily for me, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
You know what? It's not fading out. It didn't fade out.
I swear it was getting quieter.
Yeah,
there, but-
that is cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. Thoughts on that?
That's cool. I would listen to more of them. You haven't really shown me like hip hop vocals in metal before. But I like that aspect of it, and I know that's kind of, is that kind of just what new metal is?
No.
Just or like
It's
rap
what-
rock?
it's what-
Is that different?
I mean, rap rock, yeah, but new metal, people think that it is something that it really isn't. To me, new metal was a time and a place where all of a sudden bands that included heavy aspects became super popular, but they weren't metal. Like there are definitely like things that separate new metal and metal. We'll discuss it in a future video.
Yeah.
But I will say rap metal, which is sort of a genre, but also rap rock. Honestly, there's really not much difference between those two things. But like which I'm a fan of that, whatever you call that. I refer to as rap metal because it sounds cooler than rap rock. But like there aren't a lot of things like that are even halfway decent. You know,
Yeah.
You joke around about Kid Rock sometimes, but like Kid Rock was sort of like hip hop with rock and heavy rock elements, right?
Yeah.
This was 70% stereotypical mumble rap like style, like stuff,
Yeah.
with a very modern take on hip hop rap, I guess we'll say. And that was 70% of the song, you know? And
Yeah.
then there were some guitars that came in. Now I will say they do have moments that get very heavy, but it's like it's in like a pressing weight kind of way, not a like aggressive way or a like we're going to scream like crazy inhuman whatever creatures type thing.
Yeah.
And I can't even remember. I wasn't impressed with that album that I did a reaction to here on the channel enough to really remember it or ever go back to it. So I've only heard it the one time, and I honestly can't tell you right now if there's a lot of screaming vocals on that album or not. I know there are some heavier, like harsher vocals, but so yeah, like I said, our next plan for the What Is Metal series that we have that's ongoing on the channel here is for us to start going through different styles of metal. And one of those videos was going to be very popular modern metal. And this was, I was going to include Sleep Token in that because like some of my favorite metal bands that, like I'm just going to look for example. So let's say Soilwork, who I consider to be a big band, an important band, a band that's been around now for over 20 years. They have 473,000 monthly listeners, and their biggest song has like, I would guess, interesting. Yeah, less than 50,000 plays. I'm sorry, 50 million plays. Less than 50 million plays, right? And the fact that this song has been out for only a week, and it has 7 million plays already, and they have several songs that are over 200 million plays. That tells you how big this band is. They are big. Yeah. Now, if we look at, for example, let's just check out of curiosity. Let's look up Slipknot and see how many monthly listeners they have. Okay. Slipknot has 13 million monthly listeners, and they have several songs that are close to 1 billion plays.
Wow. Okay.
So that tells you how popular they at least were at one point.
Yeah.
And so that's a lot. Let's look at, just out of curiosity, let's see Korn. Korn has 11 million, and they have several songs that look like, it looks like Freak on a Leash is 600 million plays.
Okay.
So, and so like all the metal that I like doesn't even touch this in terms of popularity at all. Nightwish.
But does Korn have like a recent single or something?
Korn, yes. I mean, it's interesting because when Korn and Slipknot were popular, you could turn on, like Korn specifically, when Korn had like Twisted Transistor and Freak on a Leash to an extent, Coming Undone for sure. Korn literally had songs that were in top 40 radio. Like, they literally had songs that broke through into full-on mainstream success. Slipknot,
yeah, I know lots of Korn songs.
Right. Slipknot never really had that, but they had this underground following that grew, and people were really rabid for Slipknot for quite a while. So
I feel like Slipknot was really recognizable just visually, and they were like, the Kiss of metal or whatever, and so like everybody knew them, but I don't think I know a single Slipknot song.
Right. Yeah, and that doesn't surprise me because none of their music is like super accessible. They do have a lot of songs with no harsh vocals in them at all. But like Korn, they have an album that just came out in 2023. They had an album come out in 2023, 2022, 2019, 2016.
But like, what are those getting for views?
A lot. Like their album that just came out, there's 46 million for their big song Evolution. 46 million plays, which is not touching 100 million or 600 million like their bigger stuff for sure. But I bet if we went back and looked at Slipknot, their most recent albums are not touching that either anymore. But my point though there is, hold on, let's look up, since I'm back here, let's look up Slipknot, their most recent album, The End So Far. Yeah, not even as much as the most recent Slipknot album. So they have one song that's 61 million plays. So right around the same as Korn. But my point with that is nu metal was such a thing that like nu metal, if you were a nu metal band, like you were higher up on the totem pole than any metal band at the time, even like what Metallica was doing at the time, which was also nu metal, definitely trying to be nu metal. And so like it was such an interesting time that you can't really compare numbers like that, Mm-hmm. And Korn is credited with starting nu metal, and people like to say, like, I love that you're like rap metal and rock, is that basically just nu metal? People think things like that because when you listen to Korn, they have their beat is more kind of like, right? Like, but like there's only, as far as I know, there's 2 Korn songs throughout their entire catalog that feature a guest rapper. Like Ice Cube is one of them. It's a famous song from their like second album. So like, and Jonathan Davis is not really rapping in the songs, and Corey Taylor is not rapping in Slipknot songs. Now there are some very fast verses, and he definitely has a bit of a flow to some of it, but I don't think the point is never to be rapping in any of that stuff. Limp Bizkit, the point of that is Fred Durst is rapping. So like that's why there's kind of differences to some of this stuff. But sorry, we're getting off topic. We are here for Sleep Token. That is clearly intentionally mixing modern rap music with heavy stuff. And their last album, they have is there anything that you have heard that reminded you of?
I mean, like you said, like some modern rappers is all I could compare that to, and I couldn't even name them. But the modern rap sound,
right?
You called it mumble rap. It's kind of whatever,
right? The thing that you should have said was Leprous, because Leprous, what they're doing metal wise is exactly what you heard heavy wise in that song. Now I think Leprous is way up here, and Sleep Token is like up here, about here. So for me personally, Leprous is like way more creative and awesome. But for some reason, Sleep Token really connected with people, like young people. And So it might not necessarily be for me, and that's totally fine. And I have nothing against rap music, though I don't really know of any modern rap that I enjoy. All the modern rap or hip hop stuff I like now is more that's intentionally a throwback to like 90s rap, hip hop stuff, you know? Like Mayday is like the only modern rap group that I like. And the fact that it's a group at all is an antiquated idea any more so than just being an individual person. But also, if anybody's watching this, I was really intrigued by Kendrick Lamar at this Super Bowl halftime show, and people have been, I've been hearing people talk about how brilliant Kendrick Lamar is now for like, I feel over a decade. If people think it would be fun for us to do a Kendrick Lamar album, I would totally be down for that. I don't think that I would like a lot of it. But maybe I would. I could be surprised. I literally don't know a single Kendrick Lamar song. I heard him do all those songs at the Super Bowl. I did not know a single one of them.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Didn't know a single.
You got to get someone on that
Chorus.
that knows and likes modern rap music. I don't know if the Chris's do or not.
No, they don't. I don't know. I don't know if that's even necessary though. Like sometimes it is fun to just be completely blind about something, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But so Sleep Token is just kind of an interesting anomaly. They got super popular. I don't know if they were even planning that, but they did. And this new song created a bit of a stir. And I think, you know, super heavy people on YouTube, like Nick Nocturnal is the guy I'm thinking of. Like he reacts to things, Cody, that would like make your hair curl, like crazy things. Yeah. And his music that he does make and stuff is all really awesome and very heavy and everything like that. But when this came out, he freaked out, did a reaction to it. I did not watch it because I didn't want to hear the song before we reacted to it. And like his video seemed pretty positive from the thumbnail and just like the title that he had for it and stuff. So it's like interesting. You know, it's interesting. And Bad
I can
Omens
see why this stuff is popular.
Oh, sure.
Honestly.
And Bad Omens is the same way. Chris Parker and I, and the same token, Sleep Token. Chris Parker and I are both very, very, very much in love with a band similar to this called Bad Omens. But the thing is, they have a bit more heaviness to their music. The guy's screaming vocals are awesome. And they have a bit more variety to what they're doing. This is, like a lot of the Sleep Token songs from what I remember from their last album are basically this. Like slow, very minimalistic, with rapping stuff over the top of it. It's the auto-tune knob turned up as loud as to 11, and then if halfway through the song a beat comes in and he's doing it over sort of minimalistic sounding drums, and then there's heavy part somewhere in there. Now to me this did not feel very heavy at all. I definitely know that they get much heavier than this, but this song is a good representation of what they do. So
was the jazz part? Did you hear any of that on their last?
That
album?
was totally the saxophone part was totally different.
Okay.
There was some really cool piano stuff, if I remember correctly, on their last album, and then they had some neat like electric guitar stuff. It was sort of shoegazy, like a lot more reverb, which is the aspect of it that I didn't care for. When I was listening to this and I was like, oh, this is really cool, I like this. What I was talking about was more the production and the fact that it did feel drier and more less dreamy. Like their last album felt very dreamlike, very like a lot of reverb, a lot of trailing out, a lot of very wet, heavy things. Whereas this felt a lot more dry, and I definitely liked this song more than probably the other stuff. And I would definitely listen to a full album of that, but I don't know. So.
Cool.
So there you go, everybody. That's our little take on Sleep Token. Like I said, if anyone's interested and want to hear my thoughts on their full previous album, not knowing what to expect at all, I went into that completely blind. You can go check that out here on the channel. If not, maybe we'll do a full album reaction when it comes out later this year. We'll have to see. I'll be in the hospital now for quite a while, but we'll see what ends up happening. Until then, thank you all very much, and we will see you at a later date.